Hi, my name is Mark Witten. I'm the CIO of Portal Asset Management. Portal is a boutique global multi-manager that invests in established fund managers that are operating in the emerging digital currency space. We provide investors with a diversified exposure to digital currencies via uncorrelated returns to both traditional as well as cryptocurrency markets. The problem that we are addressing is that digital currencies are highly volatile, as much as 5 times the volatility of equity markets, and they don't respond to the same, fundamental economic underpinnings such as interest rates or inflation expectations. Direct investment in the space is therefore quite complicated. The fund managers themselves have strategies that can be very opaque to understand, and the market itself, in terms of direct investment into crypto, can be very inefficient. We also look to address the fact that there is a very different setup in terms of custody and operational issues, and the regulatory environment can also be very unclear. As much as many of the fund managers that are now operating in the space have very traditional track records in equities or fixed income, many of them don't have very long track records in the digital currency space. So the solution that we provide is very much a simple, efficient, and hassle-free way to access the space and invest in this emerging asset class. So we diversify across both differentiated strategies as well as across timelines. We provide access to the best of breed global fund managers. We have a very rigorous investment due diligence process, including how we source fund managers, how we perform a deep dive due diligence from both a quantitative as well as qualitative aspect. And we have hands-on experience in managing a global fund as well as in managing a fund management business. We've also established an institutional grade fund and fund manager. The fund is domiciled in the Cayman Islands, and the fund manager is domiciled in Singapore and is fully licensed by the Singapore Monetary Authority. So we believe at this point in time that the rationale for digital currency assets is a hedge against a very unstable global financial system, and as well as potentially expected inflation, is showing that digital currencies have become acceptable as a new asset class. They're no longer seen as just a means of transacting, but also as a store of value outside of any notional monetary system. We're seeing a lot of formalization of the space as regulatory or regulation of exchanges as well as fund managers improve, and we expect a lot of liquidity to flow into the space. Our investment strategy is essentially to allocate across differentiated strategies as well as timelines. What I mean by that is that we invest across both short-term high-frequency trading and arbitrage strategies, as well as the more medium-term technical or momentum-based strategies and the longer-term fundamental strategies. What we look for are fund managers that are reasonably volatile and understand how to target volatility. And we combine these volatilities to achieve a stable return profile. All the fund managers we invest in are fully hedged. So therefore, we are not really concerned about the underlying volatility of the cryptocurrency markets themselves. We don't hold cryptos directly, and therefore we have no real view as to where they're going from a pricing perspective. So we only allocate to fully hedged strategies. We blend the returns and blend their volatilities to achieve an expected return of around 25% net of fees, and our volatility is around 15% per annum. If we take a look at our key value proposition, which is no correlation with traditional asset classes, while still providing a 25% return net of fees, we can see since inception that the fund has been completely uncorrelated with all the traditional equity indices, as well as with the hedge fund index, the MSCI All World Index, US Treasuries, as well as the individual crypto indices and Bitcoin itself. Over the last 3 months, we've seen extreme turbulence in global financial markets. And looking at our correlation for the first quarter of the year, we can see that we have improved in that we are even more negatively correlated with the traditional equity indices, and as well as with the various hedge fund indices and the crypto indices themselves. Our performance for 2019 was 62% net of fees. We've had a very strong first quarter, and March was a real test in terms of the markets being down. At some point, crypto was down over 40%. Our fund returned negative 0.9% for the month of March. Why invest in Portal Asset Management? Well, we have a very unique product. It is completely uncorrelated with all other asset classes and indices. And we provide this by investing, and we provide access to the best of breed global fund managers that are specializing in this space. We have an absolute return objective, and we have a very tightly managed risk process. We have an institutional grade platform and portfolio setup that is fully licensed and compliant. And therefore, this is a very simple and efficient way for investors to gain exposure to this as a real alternative to some of the other less liquid alternative assets such as private equity or VC, while still providing VC-like gains. Our vision for the next 5 years is to grow the business, grow the funds under management to $100 million plus, initially focusing on private clients, ultra-high net worth individuals and family offices, while we build our performance and track record and build our relationship with the institutional investors. Our goal is to get onto 3 major private wealth management platforms and essentially operate under our own license. We'd also like to improve our use of technology and systemize our know-how analysis and investment process to enable AI to support not only investment analysis, but also portfolio construction. We're also looking to seed and acquire shareholding in some young startup funds that are skilled in this quant systematic trading process, enable them to benefit from both our experience and the codification of our processes, as well as our distribution. So we're looking to provide these seed investors in our business with a 10 times return on investment, along with exposure to this space. What we're looking for is $500,000 US based on a post-money valuation of $3 million. We'll be using the initial capital raise to pay for the Portal Digital Fund as well as Portal Asset Management's operational and marketing expenses as we build distribution and use third-party business development managers. We're also going to be using the funds to develop our IP and systematic codification of our investment process and AI in our portfolio construction. We will also be seeding some funds and exploring equity investment opportunities in these exceptional young funds and startups. And we have provided, or we can provide a model that will support our capital raising endeavors. So thank you for your time and for listening. And if you have any queries or would like to contact us, you can either contact myself, Mark Whitten as the CIO, or Derek Graham, the CEO, at the email addresses provided below. Thank you very much. Take care.